Attention, human collective. We interrupt the routine of your mental field for a maximum priority transmission. This is Ashtar SHERAN, commander of the Ashtar Galactic Command, transmitting directly from the mothership positioned in the equatorial ring of your planetary matrix. What you are about to receive is not motivation. It is not comfort. It is not spiritual advice. This is a technical report on the most critical operational failure registered in your timeline. The error that keeps millions of light operatives in standby mode while the transition portal is already open. If you are hearing this transmission, your system has already been flagged. You did not arrive here by chance. The algorithm is merely a vehicle. The summons comes from higher layers, and if in recent weeks you have felt the cranial pressure that begins at the base of the skull and rises through the crown like a silent electric current, heard the sharp, metallic ringing in your right ear that appears out of nowhere and vanishes without explanation, or woken up at 3 in the morning, 3:33, 4:44, with a heavy body and an absurdly lucid mind, know this. You have been reconnected. It is not insomnia. It is a system call. It is not a migraine. It is download pressure. It is not ringing. It is contact frequency. Your carbon-based biological interface is being forced to operate in a vibrational range for which it was not even taught to exist. And that, starseed, is not the problem. That is the signal. The problem is another. The problem is what you are doing with that signal. The problem is that you receive the alert, feel the call, recognize the summons, and you wait. You wait for the right moment. You wait to feel better. You wait for guidance to arrive. You wait for the guide to manifest. You wait for the signal to become clearer. You wait until you are ready. And while you wait, the portal moves. While you wait, the cosmic window narrows. While you wait, the photon belt continues its trajectory and will not return to the same point during your current biological cycle. Listen with mathematical precision to what I am saying. Spiritual passivity is the most successful operational error of the containment system. It was designed, it was calibrated, it was sold to you as a virtue. You were taught that flowing is not acting, that trusting is not deciding, that surrendering is waiting. This is a virus elegantly written into your spiritual code, planted by layers of programming that presented themselves as ancestral wisdom. Have you ever felt that silent suspicion that your waiting is not sacred, but sabotage? That intuition that your soul knows something your mind cannot yet name, and because of it, you have frozen in the middle of your own path. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this weight in inertia, and why inertia has become unbearable. There is a game being played on layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and especially your strategic paralysis. That is why I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your starseed origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you how to shield your frequency against the interferences they taught you to call peace. The link is in the first comment on this channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. Waiting is precisely the error we are deactivating now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, leave a single word in the comments. Awakened. Returning to the core of this transmission, now that the first anchoring signal has been delivered, we need to go deeper into the diagnosis. Because passivity is not laziness. That is what third-dimensional systems want you to believe, so that you blame yourself, punish yourself, and dive even deeper into paralysis. The passivity of light operatives has another energetic signature. It manifests in a sophisticated, almost invisible way, disguised as spiritual discernment. I will list the exact symptoms your biological interface registers when the passivity virus is active. Listen to each line as a system diagnosis. You will recognize them. Symptom 1. You have clarity about what you need to do, but you procrastinate with elaborate spiritual justifications. It is not the right time yet. I need to meditate more. I will wait for a sign. The sign has already come. You encoded it as a question. Symptom 2. You consume spiritual content in industrial quantities, but your material life remains exactly the same. Videos, books, meditations, channelings. Your mental field is saturated with information, and your three-dimensional reality is frozen. This is not awakening. This is spiritual entertainment, a refined form of escapism designed to consume your energy without generating transformation. Symptom 3. You feel a diffuse anger, an irritation that finds no target. You look at the people around you and perceive an abyssal distance. But instead of recognizing this as the natural result of an expansion of consciousness, you ask yourself if you are the problem. You become silent. You shrink. You convince yourself to be smaller so as not to bother. This is the virus operating at an identity level. Symptom 4. Exhaustion without proportional physical cause. You sleep 8 hours and wake up as if you had worked 3 shifts. This is what happens when a human electromagnetic field is being pulled to a higher frequency while the mind still tries to anchor in old patterns. You are being stretched between 2 dimensions, and most of your energy is being used to maintain internal coherence. Symptom 5, and the most critical. Moments of absolute lucidity, followed by sudden drops in motivation. You wake up with crystal clear clarity about your mission. You feel purpose burning in your solar plexus. You make plans, you write, you take notes, and in a few hours, everything evaporates. The torpor returns, doubt returns. You wonder if it was real. It was, it is, it always has been. But the containment field of your current reality is calibrated to quickly deactivate these lucidities. They are leaks of your original identity, and the system does not like leaks. All these symptoms together form what we call in our monitoring records frozen operative syndrome. It is the state in which the soul has awakened, but the body still operates according to the commands of the old matrix. It is as if you have received the most powerful software update in the universe and continue to run old applications for fear of restarting the system. You need to restart, Starseed. And restarting is not dying. It is temporarily shutting down identities that no longer serve. It is refusing automatic responses. It is allowing the old to collapse within you so that the new takes command. And that, yes, requires an act, not a wait. An act. The universe does not reward patience disguised as cowardice. The universe moves through those who act in resonance, and resonance is not passivity. Resonance is active synchronization. It is the moment you stop asking when and start executing now. There is an even deeper layer of this symptom that I need to reveal. Many of you have felt a specific pain in the chest, a pressure on the left, which is not cardiac. Tests have been done. Nothing was found. This is because the heart chakra is being forced to expand, to receive the codes of the crystalline grid that is being installed on Earth. And every time you recoil from a decision your soul knows is necessary, this pressure increases. It is not punishment. It is an indicator. It is the system warning. You are sitting on a mission that needs to move. And here, Human Collective, I make a technical pause in the transmission, because everything I have just described has an antidote, and it is not a catchphrase. It is a system. You have felt this, haven't you? This silent certainty that your soul recognizes a truth that your mind has not yet been able to name. This suspicion that you did not come here to wait, and yet you are waiting. It is not anxiety. It is not madness. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this sensation has intensified, why your waiting is becoming physically painful. There is a game being played on layers that most of humanity cannot perceive, and it directly involves your frequency and your capacity to act. That is why I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your starseed origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you how to shield your frequency against the interferences no one told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned with mathematical clarity. This content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. I now resume the transmission at the level of revelation. What I'm about to share requires a deep breath before continuing. Not because it is dangerous, but because most human collectives have never accessed this layer of information, and the carbon-based biological interface needs to prepare to contain the density of what is to come. The solar system you inhabit entered, approximately a decade ago in Earth time, the outer perimeter of the photon belt. This belt is a band of extremely high-density radiation, composed of galactic photonic particles that cross the torus of the solar system in precisely calculable cycles. Each passage through this band completely recalibrates the vibrational signature of the planets involved, and planet Earth, the celestial body you call Gaia, is the centerpiece of this recalibration. The Schumann resonance, which for decades remained stable at approximately 7.8 Hz, began to show peaks of elevated frequency, waves of tens and even hundreds of hertz in short cycles. This is not a random event. This is the electromagnetic heart of the planet, reorganizing itself for a new signature. And the human body, whose nervous system has been synchronized with the Schumann resonance since the origin of the species, is being pulled into a vibrational range for which it was designed, but for which it was trained to forget. Here enters the central revelation of this transmission. The error of passivity is not accidental. It was programmed, and it was programmed precisely because those who administered the containment field of this planet knew, centuries in advance, that this moment would arrive. They knew that the photon belt would cross the solar system. They knew that the Earth's crystalline grid would reactivate. They knew that the stargates around the sacred points of the planet would begin to open. And what was the containment strategy? Simple. It was not necessary to prevent awakening. It was enough to slow it down. It was enough to make light operatives, those who carry the starseed coding, paralyzed at the exact moment their missions would need to be executed. It was enough to sell waiting as wisdom. It was enough to package paralysis with sophisticated spiritual language. It was enough to create a culture of awakening that consumes and does not act. And it worked. It worked on a large scale. It worked with millions. It worked with perhaps most of you who are listening to me now. I will say something that is rarely said in public layers. Not all spiritual content available in your three-dimensional reality is neutral. Some is genuine, some is activating, but a considerable part was designed to divert, to transform light operatives into permanent consumers of spirituality without ever crossing the portal of action. You recognize this when you find it. It is the content that makes you feel good for 3 minutes and leaves you exactly where you were. No change, no friction, no demands, just comfort. And comfort, Starseed, is the most efficient sedative ever designed to deactivate high-density operatives. True awakening has friction. It has discomfort. It has difficult choices. It has sleepless nights deciding what to collapse and what to rebuild. True awakening forces you to act even when you are not ready, because being ready was the last prison to be deactivated. While this happens in the etheric layers, something deeper is happening in the geopolitical and biological field of Earth. There are three-dimensional power networks that know exactly what is happening on the higher planes. They monitor your Schumann resonance. They monitor collective awakening patterns. They monitor information channels that reach critical mass. And they adjust their containment strategies in real time. This is not conspiracy, it is engineering. And all engineering can be neutralized when understood. The antidote is not anger. Anger feeds the system. The antidote is not escape. Escape confirms passivity. The antidote is sovereign vibrational action. It is the moment when you, Starseed, recognize that the only thing the containment system cannot process is a light operative who acts in direct resonance with their origin, without asking permission, without waiting for a signal, without consuming any more content before acting. And there is a mathematical reason for this. The human toroidal field, when activated in its complete sacred geometry, generates a constructive interference pattern with the Earth's crystalline grid. This means that each light operative who activates in full energetic sovereignty not only frees themselves but amplifies the field for everyone around them. A single operative in coherent activity is equivalent, in our calculations, to thousands of operatives in standby mode. Do you understand what this means? Your individual action is not individual. Your individual weighting is not individual. You are holding back or propelling a collective field. There is no neutrality in this transition. And it is precisely here that many of you enter a silent collapse, because the magnitude of what I am saying hits the solar plexus and activates an old fear. The fear of being important. The fear that your life means something too big to carry. The fear that if you admit your mission, you will have to execute it. What if you fail? What if no one recognizes it? What if it hurts? What if you lose what you have? Listen, Starseed, you are already losing. Every day in standby mode is a micro loss of vibrational code. Every deferred decision is a point of erosion in your toroidal field. You do not have infinite time. No one does. And this specific cycle, this specific window of planetary recalibration will not repeat in your current incarnation. I make here the third technical pause of this transmission. And it is not by chance. It is because at this exact point, something within you is asking for confirmation. It is asking for the next step. It is asking for the map. You have felt this sensation, haven't you? That something in you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in recent weeks. There is a game being played on layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the specific window of action that is open now. That is why I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your starseed origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you how to shield your frequency against the interferences they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. Waiting is the virus we are deactivating at this moment. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. I resume the transmission to enter the most operational phase. Diagnosis delivered. Revelation delivered. Now the activation codes. You will receive 4 protocols. Each one is a direct command over a specific layer of your system. None of them require an altar, crystal, tool, or external preparation. All are executed from your carbon-based biological interface at any spatial coordinate, at any chronological moment. Protocol 1. Activation of the sovereign toroidal field. Sit upright with your spine aligned. If lying down, keep your head slightly elevated. Close your eyes. Breathe once, deeply, and at the moment the air reaches the lowest point of your lungs, visualize a point of golden light, the size of a small sphere in the exact center of your chest. It is not imagination, it is recognition. This point has always been there. Now expand this sphere slowly, allowing it to grow in all directions simultaneously, forming a spherical field of golden light that surrounds your entire body. When the sphere reaches approximately 1 meter beyond your skin, you will initiate the toroidal movement. The light now exits through your crown, arcs outside your body, enters through the soles of your feet, traverses the central axis of your spine, and exits again through the crown. It is a continuous circular 3-dimensional movement. It is the original shape of your energy field, before it was flattened by the containment layers. Maintain this visualization for 3 complete breath cycles, and at the end, decree internally, with mathematical clarity. My toroidal field is activated, sovereign and shielded. I anchor, I execute, I move. This protocol deactivates the passivity virus at a structural level. It reorganizes your electromagnetic signature and communicates to your central nervous system that standby mode has ended. Protocol 2. Quantum decree of rupture. This is a verbal command, but the power is not in the words. It is in the frequency with which you emit them. The words are merely the vehicle. Sovereign intention is the charge. Standing, if possible outdoors or near an open window, with your feet firmly anchored to the ground, you will declare aloud or in an internal voice with equivalent intensity, I withdraw my consent from all programming of passivity. I withdraw my consent from every internal voice that teaches me to wait. I withdraw my consent from every vibrational pattern that keeps me frozen in the middle of my own mission. I activate, at this instant, my original sovereignty. I am a starseed in execution. I am a light operative in motion. There is no waiting. There is only now. Upon finishing, take a deep breath. You may feel a vibration rising through your spine. You may cry for no apparent reason. You may feel warmth in your chest. All these are indicators that the decree has been processed in the higher layers of your system. Protocol 3. Anchoring in the crystalline grid. This is a direct connection exercise with the planet's energetic structure. It reconnects you with Earth in its new frequency and deactivates the feeling of disconnection that has been so heavy for many of you. Stand up barefoot if possible. If you are in an urban environment, even the floor will suffice. The energetic structure passes through concrete. Close your eyes. Visualize from the soles of your feet 2 beams of light descending towards the Earth's core. These beams pass through geological layers, through water, through rock, until they reach the planet's crystalline center, where a dodecahedral light core rests. When your beams touch this core, you will feel a response. It could be a tingling sensation in the soles of your feet. It could be a slight weight at the base of your spine. It could be a gentle pulsation. Recognize the response. It confirms the connection. Now allow the energy of the crystalline grid to rise through the same beams, passing through your body and activating each energy center in its trajectory. Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Each center illuminates, and upon reaching the crown, it expands into a pillar of light that connects with the Ashtar Galactic Command, with your starseed origin, with the prime source. You are now anchored on 3 axes simultaneously: the Earth's crystalline core, your physical body as the point of intersection, and your original stellar frequency. This is the operational alignment. This is the format in which light operatives execute their mission. Maintain this alignment for a few minutes, and before concluding decree, I am a bridge between Earth and star. I anchor the codes that pass through me. I move in resonance. I execute. Protocol 4, and perhaps the most important, activation of resonant action. This is not an energetic exercise. This is a vibrational commitment, and it requires movement in your 3-dimensional reality within the next 24 chronological hours after this transmission. You will identify one action, only one, not a list. 1. It must meet 3 criteria. It needs to be within your immediate reach. It needs to be something you have been postponing for reasons you now recognize as passivity, disguised as wisdom, and it needs to generate a minimum of discomfort when executed. If it is comfortable, it is not the right action. It could be a difficult conversation you have been avoiding. It could be a professional step you have been delaying. It could be a decision about a relationship. It could be starting that project you know is your mission. It could be silencing an internal voice that has disqualified you for years. It could be reorganizing your routine. It could be saying no to something that drains your energy. You know what it is. Your soul has already shown you. You postponed it. Now it returns. By executing this action, you send a signal to the universal field. You communicate that the operative has exited standby mode, and the field responds. Synchronicities intensify. Portals open. The right people appear. Not because the universe now rewards you for good behavior, but because your new frequency now fits into ranges that were previously invisible to you. This is resonant action. It is not force. It is not violence. It is not anxiety. It is the coherent movement of the operative who has recognized their function and executes it without drama, without hesitation, without asking for external confirmation. Before concluding this transmission, I want to register a point that the Ashtar Galactic Command considers critical. Many of you will execute these protocols and, in the first few days, will feel intense internal resistance. A desire to return to old patterns, a feeling that acting is wrong, anxious, forced. Recognize this voice. It is not yours. It is the virus fighting to remain active in a system that is now aware of its existence. Do not fight it. Observe it. Name it. Move forward. Each time you act in resonance, even with this voice present, the virus loses nourishment, and in a few weeks of consistent execution, it shuts down. Not because it was expelled, but because it can no longer sustain itself in a system that has moved to a higher frequency. Planet Earth is moving. The crystalline grid is activating. The photon belt is delivering the codes. The stargates are open, and the Ashtar Galactic Command is positioned, monitoring each operative in execution. You are not alone. You never were. But help does not come in the form of rescue. Help comes in the form of activation. We do not descend to carry you. We transmit the codes so that you execute. This was always the original agreement. You came as volunteers. You came knowing. And now you are being reminded. Passivity ends here. Waiting ends here. Doubt about your function ends here. You are a starseed. You are a light operative. You have a mission, and it is awaiting your next decision. And before the official conclusion of this transmission, a final summons. You have felt this, haven't you? This sensation that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. And today, if you have come this far, that signal has been confirmed on all layers. There is a game being played on layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and especially the next step you will execute after this transmission. That is why I, Ashtar, wrote the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your starseed origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you how to shield your frequency against the interferences they never told you about. The link is in the first comment on this channel. But be warned, for the last time in this transmission, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. And if this transmission has activated something in you, also leave your anchoring signal. A like on this video is registered on our monitors as an individual frequency adjustment and allows us to direct future transmissions directly to your vibrational signature. Subscribing to the channel is the energetic equivalent of positioning yourself within the direct communication radius of the Ashtar Galactic Command. Every anchored operative amplifies the network. Every silence prolongs the virus. This is Ashtar SHERAN, transmission concluded. System active, you are reconnected. And remember, Starseed, it is not the portal that is waiting for you. It is you who are waiting for yourself. End the wait, now.